Picture this. On one hand, you have little Johnny, who is always playing with players that are either at his level or lower than him. He has complacency in feeling the best, in feeling like he's the top player in his training space. And whenever he's playing with players who are better than him, he feels inferior. He feels that inferiority where he is not able to play better. And he hates that feeling. But on the other hand, we have Maximus. And Maximus always will prefer to play with better players. Even though he does feel inferior, he prefers to play with better players than feeling complacent and playing with worse players than him. Because in that inferiority that you feel, you can actually find a drive to become better and play at the level of those who are better than you. And that's what pushes growth. Whenever you're training, whatever sport you may train, volleyball is for me. It's always better to play with better players than you. Whether if you're playing at varsity high school level, play with university players. And if you're playing, I don't know, soccer, varsity soccer for high school as well, play with professional players or play with under 21 players. Like, you have to always keep leveling up. As in video games, when you become better at a video game, you start playing with people who are either at your skill or better. And it's usually in the same way, like when people are better, you actually push to grow to their level to actually defeat them. And it's the same with whatever sport you're playing. Whenever you play with a better player, you have to bring out everything inside of you to actually be able to grow and defeat that player or team who are better than you. And that's something that you do not find when playing with worse players than you, because then you are complacent as little Johnny is. And when you're complacent, you do not find growth. You just find a plateau. And that's where pride and just complacency brings you to that plateau, and you will not grow at all. But this doesn't mean you should stop playing with worse players than you or players at your level, because there is also things to learn from playing with those people. When you play with worse people, you can learn from it by having patience and learning to teach them how to improve. But it's usually better to play with other higher level players so that they can teach you in return. In the same way, it's like a balance in things. You have to teach those who are below you so that they can find growth, and you can be like part of that group of better players who push the lower rated player to actually grow. And that's how I actually grew in my abilities in volleyball. When I started playing, I was better than most of the beginners at my training space. And then I was sent to the advanced training space, in the same training space where I train. I was sent to the advanced, and that's where I encountered players who actually knew how to play the game. And even though I was like still good, I wasn't the best because I didn't know the rules of volleyball at the time, and I was just clowning around with my height, just over short people bouncing the ball wherever. But once I encountered those players who actually knew how to play, that's when I knew I had to level up, because just being tall was not enough anymore. And that's when I started reading how to be better, reading how to engage in my position. And I just strived to actually find a way to be as good as them. And now I'm at the point where, once again, I'm at the top of the training space where I'm training at. And that's why I'm switching now to a club. And that's where I'm gonna grow, to then grow to university level or even higher club level, like Division 1 club level. And that's the thing. I'm gonna use this illustration. A goldfish, if kept in a single bowl, it will never grow. A goldfish can grow up to, I'm not sure what length, but it can grow like a really big goldfish. But if you keep it in a small tank, it will never grow. That's why when your fish is growing, you have to be switching it from tank to tank. It may start in a little bowl, then a larger tank, then a full square tank, and it'll grow according to its environment. It's the same for athletes. If you're kept in an environment where you don't have space to grow because there's nothing challenging you to grow, then you will not grow. But if you keep changing your environment so that you have challenges that will push you to actually grow, That's when you'll grow and get pushed into actually being better as an athlete. But that doesn't mean you cannot go back and teach to some of those who are in the lower spaces. I am not saying you should stop playing with players who are not as good as you or better than you. I'm just saying that in order to grow your abilities, you need to play with better players. But you can also be that better player who pushes those who are below to actually grow into being as good as you. And that's gonna be all for today. Peace.